So what's your name, first of all?
Jeanine.
I'm Jeff.
How are you?
And I'll repeat the question. So what do you think happens after we die? And what was the process of like how you came to your belief about that?
Well, I guess I'd have to say I have a great deal of uncertainty what happens. I grew up Catholic and went to 12 years of Catholic school, so I have that story.
Uh-huh.
But something about that story doesn't work for me. I'm married to a Jewish person, and and he has a bit of a different story. But I think for me, I feel like I saw something that brought me to that belief, my belief right now, as
Okay.
it stands. So
Yeah.
I was at Millennium Park,
Uh-huh.
and there's a long fountain with the two pillars, and
Yeah.
and there's a long thing
Oh
of-
wait, you mean the one with the faces on it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
and there's about a 2-inch pool of water between them.
Uh-huh.
And it was a day like this, really sunny,
Uh-huh.
and I was sitting there just watching the kids splashing, and the bubbles were coming up from where their feet would hit, and they'd come up all different heights and fall back into the pond.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that sort of tells us a lot about who we are and how we come into being. That, you know, we have this crash of life, whatever that is, and however the soul enters, and we burst from the whole.
Uh-huh.
And some people have a small arc before they return, like some people die in infancy.
Yeah.
And some of the arcs are huge. Some of the arcs point up and then down.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that's when we individuate, when we become this conscious self,
Uh-huh.
and that then we return to the whole. And is that droplet that's you or me still there? Yes. But could you find it again?
Yeah.
As
Probably
its
not.
As its own individual drop? Probably
Right.
not.
Right.
And then maybe further down the line, there's another
Uh-huh.
impact, and the process happens, but the drops recombine.
Okay. And would you say so?
You asked, you wanted to know.
No, that's great. I've not. So I guess I'm wondering, would you consider that a spiritual experience of coming to,
I think I found it peaceful.
Uh-huh.
That in this moment, I am as conscious as a person can be.
Yeah.
We all have all these narratives going on in our heads.
Yeah.
But that in some point my arc will come down and I will return to what's everything.
Yeah.
What all life comes from.
And how did it change your outlook? Like, I guess I'm wondering, would you say was it a spiritual experience on like a different realm of being? Like when we think of God or angels or whatever, we think of like a different realm. Or was it just like an analogy that kind of opened up your mind to see things in a different way,
Yeah,
I
I
guess?
think it was more of an analogy, like,
Sorry.
again, I
Maybe I'll set this off to the side a little bit.
that's okay. I grew up, with the Catholic experience, so, I'm very familiar with sort of the teachings of Jesus.
Yeah.
So I often
Who used analogies and parables.
used analogies.
Yeah.
And people would say, "Are you God?" And he would say, "I and the Father are one."
Yeah.
He didn't say, "I'm God."
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways that analogy that I came to fit that for me. You know what I mean? That I'm one with where everything
I
came
see.
from, with
Yeah.
all life. And then I have this moment that I'm individuated.
Yeah. Now, would you say you do believe, so you do believe in existence, some sort of existence, like not just physical, right? So when your body dies, there's still a part of you that goes on that's maybe not connected to your body?
Yes, I would say, I I would say yes to all of it. I think that your body somehow returns into, whatever. The sun is going to burn out, the earth is going to burn
Yeah.
out, and my body will, some remnant of it will be here,
Yeah.
and it will return to that cosmic gas or
Yeah.
matter or stardust or
But
whatever.
as far as you having, say, consciousness,
that's what I mean.
the end
I
of the road,
guess
or-
I don't think that, myself as, Jeannie McInerney is so absolutely important that I'm going to somehow hang in there throughout all eternity as
Yeah.
Jeannie McInerney. You know
Right.
what I mean? I think this is the experience that I'm having right now.
Yeah. Would you say you believe in God or a creator that made everything, or how do you
I guess I
see that?
I always say I pray every day to a God I don't believe in.
Uh-huh.
So I don't believe in the
Oh.
way we
Oh,
think
answer-
about it.
hang on a second.
The way I certainly don't believe in like a guy in a robe,
Yeah.
something like that. I can't.
Yeah.
No, nothing like
But
that.
more like, so like the Bible says that, like God, in the beginning, God created, like, in other words, I guess what I'm asking is maybe not necessarily the Christian God, but a creator that's different from the creation. So we would be,
I don't think
creation.
of a creator in any way, shape, or form in terms of it mirroring human
mhm,
form or existence or our
yeah,
neurons or no,
with the
no.
limitations that we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that
Yeah. I
God looks like you or me
right.
up there. No.
You're not the first one. Like lately, I've heard a few people just saying, like, the more we know about how vast this universe is, the more we should be humble and just say, you
Yes.
know what, it's not about me.
Yeah.
And I do see that in the gospel, in the Bible. It's like saying we're not the center of attention. You
Yes.
know. The Bible, though, does say God would be the center of attention. It's saying, it's constantly through the Bible, it's saying that He, and just because He refers to Himself as a He, demands the glory that He deserves. In other words, if God was a human,
Yeah,
We
I
shouldn't-
think I totally disagree with that.
yeah,
Because I think if God was the God of Christianity,
uh-huh,
I don't think He's so insecure He really needs me going every day. Wow, you're awesome. You're great.
Right.
Whoa, aren't
Right.
you fabulous?
yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
At all.
And that's how it's presented. That's not how actually it's presented as God needing anything. So it would be more God desiring things
Yeah.
that He doesn't need, And so the creation, all of the creation, not just humans, but all of the creation is made to give glory to the Creator, according to the Bible,
Which I don't. The Bible doesn't mean much
Right,
to me.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
like me saying according to Vishnu. This.
Yeah. One thing I as a Christian do feel it's important is if people have, say, rejected the Bible or moved on to something else,
Yeah.
a lot of times they don't really have a real understanding of what it is they've rejected or moved on
Yeah.
from, So
I have 12
so I-
years of understanding.
Yeah.
And then a Catholic college. I think
Yeah.
I get it. And 25 years of Judaism as well. So with my husband.
is your husband a pretty active Jew?
Yeah, fairly.
Jewish?
Fairly.
Okay.
But
Some are
again,
secular,
here's what I think. If that book works for you,
Uh-huh.
that's a great thing for you.
Yeah.
I don't, disrespect that is a way that you understand your existence, and I respect that deeply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's not the way I understand my existence.
Yeah.
So, I think that religion, and I'm not one of those people who think organized religion's evil.
Uh-huh.
I think there are people within organized religion that are
Take
evil
advantage of it
and
for
take
their own
advantage of the
purposes.
power, but no different
Yeah.
than politics
Yeah.
or anything else. 10% are saints and 10% are sinners, and 80% of us are just schlubbing along.
Kinda
You know what I
mellow.
mean? So it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that some people have really found that for themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but and you know, I guess I moved on to thinking in new ways, and I'm happy. For me, that you know, I have another way of understanding, and
Yeah.
I may move to something else. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I think you know, I want to grow as a person and you know, keep exploring. I
Yeah,
have a
keep an
close
open
friend
mind.
who's a Hindu, and I said to her, I can't understand all of these elephants with 10 arms and
Yeah.
you know, all these
The mythological characters.
mythological
Yeah.
stuff. And I said, well, I don't understand that. And she said to me, when you're a child and you're learning, you use picture books.
Uh-huh.
But as you grow in understanding of words and concepts and, you know, things greater than that, you no longer need those.
Yeah.
And so she said the Hindu religion has those because there are people who still need that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, for understanding.
sense.
But other people don't.
Yeah.
So I guess I just feel like that. If there's something that helps somebody understand something and in a peaceful way, and
Yeah.
understanding that, you know, there are almost 8 billion different minds on Earth, they're all not going to think the same,
Yeah.
and they can respect that, then I think that's great.
One thing, I want to respect your time. I asked for 5 minutes, so
Yeah.
I'll let you go. But just real quick, getting back to that whole idea of being humble,
Yeah.
you know, with an understanding of the whole universe. Not that we have an understanding,
Yeah.
but appreciation for how vast the universe
Yeah.
is. And so, as you know, like as a Christian, I would say, and how much more vast would the Creator be? You know, so like the creation gives us an idea of
Yeah.
you know how much more we have to know about the Creator. But the cool thing about Christianity is it begins with this teaching that we're made in God's image, and therefore we have intrinsic worth and value and meaning in life, more than just returning to, you know, like God's put eternity in our heart, you know. So there's and I'm not saying like we're made in God's image as far as like we're God's, but there's things about us that can relate to God in a way that no other being can, because it's the only being that is said to be made in God's image. See what I'm saying?
Well, said by who?
Yeah, getting back to do you
said
trust
by
the Bible?
us, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so of course we're going to say that.
So-
Hey, we're
so
made
there's
in God's
the
image.
the idea that
But how do
God-
I know a dolphin isn't made in God's
Yeah.
image? You know, dolphins could be talking, saying, "Okay, those humans, they think
Yeah.
they're made in God's
So,
image."
so if the Bible was written by man, yeah, totally, I can see where you're coming from. If it was actually God revealing Himself to us
But I
through
think God,
history,
if there is how you're looking at it, the word
Mhm.
God or whatever.
say a conscious
I
being.
think
Yeah.
revelations comes in many ways. Like for me, I had that revelation just sitting there watching kids play.
Yeah,
And that we need to open our hearts and minds to, you know, the way that speaks to all of us, you know, in different ways. Just like, you know, I don't speak Inuit.
right.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, but it's a beautiful language.
Yeah,
You know, so I think it's a beautiful language that I'll never understand or speak,
yeah,
which is fine.
yeah.
That doesn't make me less or more than
Yeah.
an Inuit.
And then I'm sure you know, like for me as a Christian, there's this idea of being obedient to what Jesus said, go and you know, and
Yes.
tell people about me.
Right.
And I've learned that, you know, I just can't just walk up to strangers and tell
Yeah,
them, you know,
right.
I'd rather hear their story and
Right.
hear where they're coming from. So,
Right.
so
You
I
know, I
appreciate
think
your openness
the
to.
best way, you know, again, one of the things I do like about Judaism, it doesn't proselytize.
Mhm.
And though I do know sects of Christianity strongly believe in that, same with Islam.
Mhm.
You know, I think, you know, when people find something that brings them joy or meaning or understanding, a natural inclination is to want to share that.
Yeah,
But I mean that
That's true.
I have
See,
to.
that's-
It's like me sharing my, you know, lovely grilled steak with a vegan. You know, I mean, if
Oh,
I have to say to somebody, oh, if you like this, it's here.
yeah.
But if you know, like a spaghetti squash casserole, that's fine. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It both will nurture you and keep you alive. So they're just different ways of looking at it.
Yeah. I don't know how much time you have, but I'm just wondering, I'm just curious because you said you had 12 years of experience with Christianity and stuff. You know, like they say the gospel, right? Which is kind of like the central message of Christianity. Do you feel like you have a grasp on like what that message is? You know, like how would you?
Well, the
Describe
message
it.
as fed to me, the message as I see it, the
Yeah.
message as. Again, it's a book written by humans who were interpreting things in the best way that they could at that time.
Well,
I guess I'd look at it like the Constitution of the United States.
Mhm.
The right to bear arms, well, okay, when muskets were there, that's cool.
Mhm.
But does that now give you the right to bear a nuclear arm?
Right, yeah.
I mean, we know what we know and we know it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
we-
guess what I'm wondering is like, so I'm assuming that in the Catholic Church that you had religion classes, things like that,
Every
in
day.
Catholic school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just wondering because I grew up Lutheran, which it's very easy to get kind of caught up in all the. I think of it as like Catholic light.
Yeah.
Like there's a liturgy, you
Yeah.
know, and there's rituals on Sundays,
Yeah.
and there's things you learn, but I kind of needed some outside Christians that weren't Lutheran to kind of help me see what was the central message of it all, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm wondering, do you feel like do you have, like, what would you say is the central message of Christianity or the Bible, you know?
Well, it's all about redemption.
Yeah.
So, but again,
But
I don't have to. I don't feel I need to go through confession and all that to be redeemed or to be. I think if I'm created by a loving universe or whatever you want to call it, that I'm whole and complete, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I feel fine.
I like what you said about redemption because that, you know, it's all about a relationship lost
Yeah.
when we sin, you know, and even in
Yeah.
the first humans, and then God being the one to restore the relationship rather than us having to kind of like be good enough, you
Yeah.
know. It's but I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Well, good luck to
Would
you.
you like to see this? And because I use these conversations, I'll write a short little thing. I'll use it to inspire my writing. I have a blog.
Sure. Yeah.